Well, good morning. It's December 29th, 2021. On my way into the day job. Worked after hours for the secondary source of income and had a pretty good day. Mainly, I'm trying to work my tail off so that I can have Friday, possibly Saturday off. Definitely don't want to drive on Friday because that's going to be New Year's Eve and there's going to be a lot of drunk drivers. Even though it probably would be a very profitable day, the risk reward for going out and driving that day is, in my opinion, not worth it. So, just trying to push to the end of the year, bank as much as possible. So yesterday, I talked about working on Quicken. I got all of the transactions, the transfers all completed, and all of the Acorn transactions for investing. And the only thing that's left inside of Quicken is the reconciliation. And you may think that I'm diverting from the primary goal of working on the stock stuff, but end of year is coming, and if the data inside of Quicken is pristine, then doing taxes and whatnot becomes just that much easier. So we're trying to get to the point where we can do Quicken on a daily basis and keep up with that task so that we're not having a month at a time to try and reconcile as the money's being spent, entered into Quicken. And of course, then as we're categorizing everything, it automatically goes into the different tax brackets as well. So looking at Acorn, I'm really impressed. I'm socking away, I don't know, $600 roughly, $600 to $700 plus every month into Acorn for Tracy and myself, and our retirement plan as a backup, just to give us a little bit of diversification and just to start using the market, and also socking away for Erin's future as far as education, if she decides to use it for that, or if she or us are able to get to the point where she doesn't have to necessarily go on out and work, but does it because she has a passion. She could be set for life. At 40 years old, she'd have almost $400,000, socked away. So that was kind of impressive after a year and a half to sock away over $7,000 and over $5,000 for Erin. That was a pretty good feat that was accomplished, and so I'm very happy with that. And the question is, if you're in debt but you have all that money socked away inside of assets, are you really in debt? Because at any point in time you can cash out. Yes, you'll have a tax liability, but you can throw all that money towards your debt and be debt free. So that would take any burden off of any of the kids or Tracy after my passing, or Erin, that would have to take care of the estate currently, because we haven't set up any of the entities and whatnot. But that would mean that all the debt would be able to be paid for and be debt free. So another reason why we're doing all this is because if we can pay off all that debt, then that frees up cash flow, and cash flow is king. And if we can free up that cash flow, then that means that we might have an extra $1,000 a month to be able to go on out and increase our lifestyle, and that's going to help with the relationship, help with our mind and our psyche. So getting back to assets versus liability, yes, it's nice to have all that stuff, but if it's all tied up into an asset and it's not readily available, meaning I just can't go write a check or draw money out of the account because it's all tied up into a stock, then it's really not liquid. If it's not liquid, then I can't pay the rent, I can't pay a mortgage, I can't make a car payment or a credit card payment or pay for food. So that's also something in our ultimate strategy, is that we always want to have a certain amount in our brokerage account that's cash and that's liquid. This will also help for the ability to be able to do margin, so that we'll never have a margin call. So if we keep a certain percentage and that percentage is yet to be determined, then that will give us peace of mind, liquidity, and the availability of cash. So today we're going to knock out the reconciliation, which, if the record keeping inside of Quicken is pristine, or in the 95 percentile, then doing reconciliation is really just entering in the dates, the beginning balance, ending balance, clicking the button, and saying yes, everything looks good. And so unless those balances don't work out, then that's where we have to dig in. And I believe that the data inside of Quicken is fairly pristine, so we should be good to go. So I'll just knock that out real quick. Take care of the tasks inside of OneNote in regards to our banking and whatnot, to try and get that portion of it back on track. So as far as other things, I got home last night roughly 10:45-ish, 11 o'clock, jumped on fixing the sink, did a pseudo fix on the sink because somebody's made a massive hole on the underside of the kitchen counter, and as a result, the piece of metal that's supposed to really tie down the faucet is it's too big, and so it doesn't span that area in order to be able to make it tight. So I had to try and create something last night. Unfortunately, the only scrap of wood that I had inside of the garage to do a quick fix was a piece of particle board. When I tightened it down, it started to bend and crack and whatnot. So I really need a piece of metal that will allow the hoses for that faucet handle to slip in between, and then the bracket to be able to hold it down tight. That's one solution: a piece of metal or a piece of hardwood. Again, hardwood is going to be difficult to cut, and I don't really have a workshop, and so I don't have a vise, I don't have a workbench, so it's really tapping into the MacGyver skills to try and find a solution. And so I was able to make it tighter than it was, so now it's not flopping all over when you try and turn on the water or shut off the water, which is just kind of irritating. When you're trying to turn it on, you should be able to do it with one hand, and when you try shutting it off, there's no leverage in order to be able to get it to close all the way. So hopefully this will work for at least a month or two until I can come on up with a better solution, buy something online that's already done, that I can just crawl underneath the counter and fix. So fixed that, cleaned up my mess, cleaned up Tracy's mess, just last minute eating, leaving stuff all over the kitchen counter, cleaned all that up. I did look yesterday quickly at about 11:30 as to what might be causing the leak in the backyard, and it looks like the dogs or child have broken the stem for the little garden that we have, and as a result, that water system runs for 20 minutes, and with the big crack on there, that's what's flooding the backyard, which is causing a lake, which is something that the puppy likes to play in, which means dirt gets trampled in and is what messed up my carpet. So unfortunately it rained last night, and so more than likely on Friday I'm going to be cleaning the carpets again. Should not take as long as it did before, because it's really just surface dirt and whatnot that's been tracked in, and I should hopefully be able to knock that out within an hour or two, and possibly fix that sprinkler system on Friday and or Saturday as well. So I woke up this morning, and of course I don't have any underwear, don't have any socks in my drawer. Need to probably solve that problem by going and buying some more underwear so that I've got enough to get through the laundry cycle and make sure that I've always got underwear to wear. So since that stuff wasn't in my drawer and all the laundry was piled up on the dining room table this morning before leaving for work this morning, I folded all the laundry. So we'll see if that is put away or just left there to be dealt with when I get home again tonight. So, all right, so game plan again, work on Quicken, knock that out. And like I said, that should not take more than half of the day. It really shouldn't only take an hour or two. So that means that we'll be taking the Unstoppable Prosperity book for the rest of the day, and that's already been put into OneNote, but that's going to be dissected so that Thursday and or the beginning of next week, we should be able to really focus in on the rest of the business section inside of OneNote and really start to work on the different sections to come up with strategies so that we can start paper trading. So, like I said, everything's starting to come together. It's getting to be really exciting. I'm really looking forward to all of this. And what else? I'm trying to think. Just got so much going on. Still need to look at all the bills and what I need as far as a monthly cash flow minimum, so that we can figure out what dollar amount we can start throwing into the brokerage account on a regular basis, and or what strategy can we do as far as debt reduction to bring that total outflow of cash down to a value that allows us to just put the money into the Schwab brokerage account and not have to try and pull it out on a regular basis. I don't know what the delay is going from Schwab to the bank. On the other note, my pause there was I was trying to think of what it is that I did yesterday. And after I worked with the Acorn transactions, I went into TC2000 and started drawing trend lines. I was really interested to see where those different mutual funds are, the IJR, IJH, IXUS, and VOO, and look at them inside of TC2000 and start drawing trend lines. That was kind of interesting to see, where that's going. Is it still going up? Is it going sideways? Or is there a potential that it may plummet? So either way, we're staying on target and on task, and everything looked pretty good. I still need to do a little bit deeper analysis on that, but we're starting to use the TC2000 to really start drilling down, practicing the things that we're going to be doing on a daily basis. So we did daily trend lines and support and resistance, etc. And next we will possibly look at weekly trend lines to see if that gives us a different, perspective on this stuff. And that also raises some questions about creating paper trading accounts, which is one of the steps for doing the paper trading. Is it just static, throw the money in there and you use what you got, or can you continually add funds? And we have to decide which different types of paper trading accounts we're going to be using, because we really want to have different paper trading accounts for each of the different strategies so that we have a baseline to be able to test. So as you can see, I'm here at work. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff up inside of my head, but we're staying focused. We're getting things done. We're working our behind off, but you know me, that's what I do. So unfortunately, I'm doing it all by myself. So at that, I'm going to drop it. I'm going to get in there and start working on Quicken, and you guys have a great day, and I love you, and we shall talk again tomorrow. Bye now.